I am Alfred, son of Ethelwulf, King of Wessex, and, by the grace of God, sovereign of the Anglo-Saxons. My reign, from 871 to 899, was marked by relentless struggles, not only for the survival of my kingdom but also for the soul and future of our people. However, it was between 878 and 899 that the most decisive events of my life and reign unfolded. In 878, Wessex was on the verge of collapse. The Danes, those fierce warriors from the northern lands, had ravaged our territories. They had taken our towns, slaughtered our people, and shattered our hopes. I myself was forced to seek refuge in the marshes of Athelney, isolated with only a small band of loyal followers. It was a time of humiliation and doubt. But it was in that solitude that I found the strength to pray, reflect, and prepare for what was to come. I remember one night in the marshes when, tormented by doubt, I had a vision. I saw a radiant cross and heard a voice say, "Do not fear, for God is with you." With this renewed conviction, I gathered my troops and prepared a counter-offensive. In May 878, we faced the Danes in the Great Battle of Ethandun. It was a brutal struggle. I can still hear the clash of weapons, the cries of my men, and the prayers I offered to God. By divine grace, we achieved a decisive victory. Guthrum, the leader of the Danes, surrendered and agreed to convert to Christianity. We concluded a treaty that marked the end of hostilities for a time and allowed the creation of the Danelaw, a region under Viking control but separate from our lands. However, war does not entirely define my reign. My dream was to build a prosperous, enlightened, and strong kingdom. After the war, I undertook extensive reforms. I knew that to withstand future attacks, we needed better organization. I constructed a network of burhs, fortresses strategically placed throughout the kingdom. These structures, surrounded by sturdy walls, provided refuge for our people and an insurmountable obstacle for our enemies. But I wanted my people to be strong, not just in arms but also in spirit. I saw with sadness the ignorance that prevailed, even among the nobles. How can a kingdom thrive if its people cannot read or write? I ordered the translation of Latin texts into Old English to make wisdom accessible to all. I myself contributed to this work, translating texts such as Boethius's Consolation of Philosophy and Gregory the Great's Dialogues. For me, education and faith were inseparable. I invited foreign scholars to my court to teach our clerics and nobles. I also ensured that our laws were just, inspired by Christian principles. I developed a code of laws that unified ancient Saxon customs with the teachings of Scripture. Every decision I made aimed to protect the weak, punish the guilty, and honor God. Yet, my life was not free from suffering. From a young age, I was afflicted with a chronic illness, perhaps Crohn's disease or another intestinal ailment, that often left me bedridden. But these pains taught me humility and patience. They reminded me that every king, despite his crown, remains a servant of God and his people. By 899, as my death approached, I reflected on the work of my life. I left my son Edward a more stable kingdom, but the true legacy I hoped to pass on went beyond fortresses and laws. It was the idea of a people united by faith, justice, and knowledge. I do not seek to be called Alfred the Great for my military victories or reforms, but because I tried, with God's help, to guide my people toward a better future. Let me be remembered not as a conqueror but as a king who loved his people, served his Lord, and dreamed of an England that was strong, just, and enlightened.